Welcome to preparing for a postpartum Methi Vegetable Soup. Just have the ingredients ready to go before we chop everything and bring them to a boil. So this is a recipe that I frequently will double or triple. So beyond just cooking for postpartum mamas, this is a delicious recipe for the whole family to enjoy. So you could use as little as 3 cups of water. I'm actually going to double this and use 8 to 9 cups of spring water. Fresh organic bok choy, carrots, zucchini. I'll put the fresh organic spinach in at the very end because it cooks so quickly. Ground turmeric root, unrefined sea salt. This happens to be the Celtic brand. Fenugreek seed, organic pasture raised grass fed ghee, lime, ginger root, and garlic cloves. So we'll chop all the vegetables up next and bring everything to a boil. So I'm adding 3 teaspoons of whole fenugreek seeds just to aerate and let them kind of pop a bit before I add the other ingredients. And I'm also going to add the garlic in a minute to liquefied organic ghee. So I'm just going to give this a stir. And I'm going to wait until I can hear the popping and usually smell it's like sweet off-gassing. Then we know it's ready. Add the garlic. So this is a recipe from Keisha Oaks from the cookbook Touching Heaven. She's a very well-known Ayurvedic doula that founded the Center for Sacred Window Studies in New Mexico. She has since passed away, but she's left a beautiful legacy. And I'm kind of generally following the vegetable soup recipe, and I put in like 4 large garlic cloves. You could also use about 6 medium ones for this larger, like tripling a recipe size. And a lot of Ayurvedic chefs will double the spices that are used in any recipe. So that is absolutely something you can play around with. Anything, I say use more spices, and especially in postpartum because they're so supportive for healing the mother's digestive fire, which again naturally decreases right after birth. So that's a really big area of focus that we're looking to restore and replenish as rapidly as possible. Usually doesn't take very long once the oil is hot, just like a couple of minutes. 3 tablespoons of grated ginger root directly in. Let's see that. Just sauteing this, and then we'll get all the vegetables in next. It actually cooks pretty fast. The longest part is the preparation and chopping all the vegetables. Everything mixes through. And I do use pure spring water for this. That's what the recipe calls for. And you're going to have a very rich mineral broth by the end of just cooking all of these herbs and vegetables. And mineral rich broths are extremely good during postpartum. So that's something that you can always substitute for water or just sip on between meals. Generally, the more broth, the better. I'm going to do the carrots and zucchini. The carrots take a little bit longer to cook. Mixing them so that oil herbal mixture is coating all of the vegetables. Delicious. Just adds a lot of flavor when you just stir fry these vegetables first before adding the broth. That's my personal favorite, and I'll even do this with quinoa and other grains. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit because a lot of vegetables. Take some time to heat up. And then I'm going to get the bok choy ready to add. And that is one substitution I did just seasonally. It's the winter time and I couldn't find any high quality organic green beans. So I'm substituting bok choy. I do cook with that a lot. It is delicious and a sulfur rich vegetable. But yeah, that's really starting to cook. And beautiful bok choy, aka Chinese cabbage. And I'm so inspired by any postpartum projects from communities. For example, one of my dear teachers, friends, and colleagues, Daniela Ekman, who lives in Sydney, Australia, she's the founder of Swimmer Shakti School of Women's Wisdom. I set up a volunteer train. So anybody in the Sydney area that is interested in supporting new mothers can just make extra for their family, just double what they were planning to do for their family that day, and then share it with the mamas, and you get something like a $25 compensation, or depending on how much you made. And it's just a really lovely way to ensure the mother is off duty the whole time. She's not cooking, she's resting, she's bonding with her baby, she's healing, and bringing that community support that's so vital. So she is not alone, she's not without, and especially if she doesn't have family around that can do a meal train the entire way through. So then I always like to cook a lot, and I'll keep some for myself and family, and then there's plenty of extra to share with their family as well. So win-win. And then I'm going to add just 2 more herbs before bringing this to a boil in water. Black pepper, turmeric, and sea salt. So the salt and pepper can be adjusted to taste, and you might want to add some later when you're getting ready to eat it. I'm putting in 2 teaspoons of sea salt, black pepper, one digestive herb. I'm putting a bit more than I usually do in soups, again, just to increase the digestive properties. Turmeric root, I'm going to do about 1 teaspoon. You could do half teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons more in there. This is going to give it a nice bright golden color. And then I actually recommend everybody that can do turmeric, almost everybody can, but just in case there's an allergy or something, you can avoid it, but to get on some every single day for the rest of your life to help prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, cognitive decline. It's also a very powerful anti-inflammatory and analgesic. Okay, delicious. Okay, now I think it's ready to add the water on top, and we'll bring that to a boil. About 8 cups of water. I think I'm going to add just 1 or 2 cups more that I'm stirring it. It's a lot of vegetables. I do always teach intuitive cooking, so definitely listen to your gut instinct. I often recommend following a recipe exactly what it is the first time, and then you can play with it, get it to your liking. So I used a lot of ghee, you might have noticed in the beginning, because we do want to make sure the mama has tons of oils, nourishing, healthy fats. It's really important for her, and for all women in general, but you just double the amount that you get so her tissues can heal faster. And so I'm going to bring this to a boil and just check it after 15-20 minutes, and it'll be ready very soon.